Hi everyone, welcome to the Marine Mammal Center here in Sausalito, California. I'm with my colleagues, Giancarlo Rulli.
Hey guys, welcome.
He works in our communications department and he is going to help us relay questions from you guys to our vet techs.
Hi guys!
So, this is Lauren and Sarah. Hi guys, how's it going?
Great, how are you guys?
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about what vet techs do and what do you guys experience in an average day?
So we are registered veterinary technicians. Our day-to-day job here is to do things like anesthesia for our sick patients, help with things like blood draws, things like that, taking radiographs. We also go through all of our patients' medical records every day and make sure that everything is progressing the way that we want it to.
Awesome. And you're just joining us. You've been here about 3 months, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Where are you joining us from?
My background is in zoo medicine and also in small animal emergency and critical care.
Awesome, welcome. We're super lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you very much.
So we have more than 140 patients on site. We call it, we're at the peak of our busy season. Most of us don't even know that animals have a busy season or a season at all. Can you tell us a little bit about that, why we're seeing these animals come in and what you're treating them for?
Yeah, we sure can. One of our kind of routine things throughout the season is we don't always have a perfect season. It doesn't always start at the same time every year. But we do see this influx of patients that are typically due to animals that are malnourished or have been weaned too early from mom. And really need our help in being able to learn how to eat on their own and be tube fed and really just gain some weight so that they can have a better successful release or chance at the ocean. And so part of what we do here is we have to kind of fluff up our patients and feed them a lot of food, which includes a lot of fish per day, a lot of fish milkshakes. We go through about 1,000 pounds of fish per day.
1,000 pounds?
1,000 pounds per
gosh.
day. These guys are hungry. When they start learning how to eat, they want their fish. So it's definitely something that we have to look at and really try to get them over. Once they start free feeding, then it's kind of a matter of time for us until we can release them out into the wild.
Lauren, what's the makeup of, in terms of the patients that are on site right now? Is there any one patient that more so is kind of dominating how many are here at the facility?
Yeah, there is. Our main dominating patients is our elephant seals right now, along with our harbor seals. And then we do have a small scattering of sea lions and fur seals on site, particularly our Guadalupe fur seals. We don't have northerns on site right now, so we do have a small cluster, but our elephant seals are our main batch of animals that we have right now that really need to learn how to free feed and eat on their own.
Great. So in terms, we call it fish school. So last time we did a Facebook Live, we did 2 feedings. This time we're going to do a free feed. So let's go into the fish kitchen and see how they prepare the fish for this.
All right,
So we're going in the fish kitchen right now. You're going to hear a little bit of the fan. So we'll just get by that. Hi, Richard.
Good afternoon.
Say hi to our Facebook community.
Hi. I'm going to be weighing out some fish for a feed in pen A3. Which I've already identified with pen with weight and is zeroed out. I'm going to measure out 8 kilos. That's 8 kilograms. These are all herring.
And so we talked a little bit before about how our patients, the last time we did a feed was through tube feeding, where our patients couldn't eat on their own. They didn't know how to eat. This time we're moving to free feeding, which means that these animals have learned how to eat on their own, meaning that they're starting to dive and retrieve fish. So in their world, they've just discovered that fish are food and that they want to eat them, and so they're actually doing that on their own. And so that's what a free feed entails, meaning that we're going to go in and actually dump fish into the pool, and they can dive, retrieve, swallow, and position fish on their own.
So they don't just grow up knowing how to eat naturally. You guys actually have to teach them.
Yeah, that comes from a lot of work from our volunteers. Our volunteers spend many times a day, 3 times a day, they're offered fish when they're still on tubings to try and encourage their instincts to be interested in that fish. They also go through what's called fish school. So once a day someone goes through and they go with tongs and strings, and they spend a lot of time out there with the animals trying to mimic the natural movements of the fish to really try and get these natural instincts of these animals encouraged to eating the fish.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'm at 7.82 kilos. That's close enough for 8 kilos.
Yes, we are okay with that.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
So I'm going to take this out, and Lauren's going to board for me. She's going to protect me.
From these hungry little elephant seals that we have.
And I'm going to do what we call a dump and run. We don't want to stay in the pen while the animals are eating. We don't want them to associate us with being fed any more than necessary. So we'll go in, I'll dump the fish in the pool. We'll make sure each animal is eating. That means they have one fish in their mouth and they swallow, and then we'll leave.
Well, let's explain a little bit about this is a hospital, right? So I see that you're in your slickers, you're in your boots here. And so when we go past the yellow line, we're going to be a little bit quiet, right? Because why? What is the point of being quiet around these animals? They're around an ocean, it's loud.
These are wild animals, we want to keep them that way. So the goal of this is trying to minimize how much contact we have with these animals once they're free feeding. We're trying to get them ready to be released, getting them up to an appropriate weight that we can go ahead and release these animals. We don't want them to become really comfortable around people or to associate the people with the food. We're wearing all of this to help. This is personal protective equipment. We'll disinfect these in between our handlings of animals just to make sure that we're not spreading anything around them.
Diseases. Okay, and that's the foot pools that we see. We'll be walking through some foot pools.
Yep.
And keep in mind, these are very young animals. They were probably born in January or February of this year. And so they can associate us with a lot of good things, meaning being fed. And we've tried to discourage that and eliminate as much of that as possible.
Great. Okay, let's go do this. If you're just joining us at the Marine Mammal Center, we're going to go do a live free feed for elephant seals. And we're going to be a little bit quiet when we go into the pen, so you won't really hear us talking, but we'll definitely get to your questions afterwards.
Fish order looks like, by the way. It's got the name of the animal, the weight of the animal, and how much fish they're supposed to be fed. And any medicine station.
And then we're going to use these boards to basically cut off our human figure and to help move our animals so that we can stay protected behind these boards, as well as making sure that they don't see our human figure and associate us with the food.
Normally, I go into the board, but I'm not going to do that until I dump the fish. And I'm going to try and scatter the fish around in the pool so it's not all dumped in one place.
Got it.
And we did get a question from our audience about what types of seals these are, and these are northern elephant seals, just as a quick update.
Awesome. Thanks, GC.
What I'm going to do now is dump some here. And then I'm going to go to a different part of the pool so they have to swim around and forage for their fish. It's not all in one place. Everybody's eating, so we're going to exit, get out, let them eat in peace.
Nice. They seem to eat all of that.
I'm sorry?
Did they eat all of that? Do you watch to make sure that they're all eating? How do you track that?
Well, we come back later and check the pen to see if there's any fish left. We know how much we gave them, which was 8 kilos. We don't know how much each animal ate. but each animal gets weighed once a week. And vets can then tell, Lauren and her associates can tell, if the animal's gaining weight, then they're getting their fair share. We don't know exactly how much, but as long as they're gaining weight, we're happy.
Great.
And then we'll check the pool and scoop any. If there's only a few fish left, we won't worry. If there's a lot of fish, we'll scoop and then weigh and say and put that in the record for the animals so that the vets know that all the fish were not eaten.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Leave these guys.
And Lucy, we did get a couple questions into the audience. I think that we can go ahead and check in with Sarah and Lauren about.
Great.
First off, one of the interesting ones were in terms of how old these northern elephant seal pups that we just saw were. And in terms of, is this their normal natural weight that they should be at, or do they still need to gain a lot more weight?
That's a great question. So these northern elephant seals that we're seeing, they are births anywhere between December and February. A lot of the ones that we got in that are in that pool right now came in around February or March, so they were about a month old at that point in time. So at any rate, they're about 3 months of age now, give or take a few days. Those guys are getting closer to release weight. However, they are not actually at their correct weight that they should be at. So an elephant seal at this age should be about 200 pounds, or somewhere between 100 and 200 pounds. And these guys are well below still 100 pounds. And so we generally tend to release them at about a little over 100 pounds because of the fact that we know that they have learned how to eat and they'll continue to eat, but we want to make sure that they're not getting too big here and they spend too much time in a hospital because it's not good for them.
We got another quick question in about where these patients are released. Is there a specific location that our rescue crews take these animals to release them?
Do you want to go?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we try and release these guys. There's a pretty wide range of where we pick these animals up, but we try and release them. We have a couple local beaches around here that are places that aren't as populated by people. They're not visited quite as often. We try and focus releases in those areas just to limit the human interaction with these animals that are recently out of hospital.
Do we know when these guys will go out?
Hopefully fairly soon.
Yeah.
So now that they're free feeding very well in that pen, we have a couple of much larger pens towards the rear end of the hospital. We'll probably graduate them into those bigger pens to give them a little bit more animals to help create healthy competition, to be able to give them a little bit more room to swim, to create more muscle, to be able to really make them more robust so they'll do well in the wild.
Well, and the nice thing about this too with these guys is once they start eating fish, they gain weight. But with that weight comes huge quantities of fish that we're feeding them. Richard threw in 8 kilos just to that pen, and if you times that by 3 times a day, that's 24 kilos of fish that's being used in that pen alone. And so if we're able to feed them more, we're able to get them out faster because we are able to get weight on them faster. They can gain anywhere between 4 to 12 kilos, which is basically somewhere between 8 and 24 pounds in a week, which is crazy to think
Oh my gosh.
with these little guys when they start eating. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did get another question in about if someone along the beach comes across one of these pups, what's the best course of action in terms of not only alerting us, but what they should do on scene if they see one?
Best thing to do when you do find a marine mammal is one, step back from it. Don't crowd it. You want to give that animal space because your presence being close to it is harassing. It can be stressful to that animal. So best thing to do is to back away from it and give us a call, and we can ask you a series of questions to determine whether or not that animal might be in need of help. But for the most part, helping to educate other people as well to stay away from that animal so we keep that animal as stress-free as possible.
Cool. Any other questions?
That's what I got so far.
Awesome. Great. Oh, I think Franny is coming. Huh. Well, thanks guys so much for joining. What? Franny, what is going on? This is Franny the fur seal. Oh, hey Franny, what's going on?
Everyone. Jill and Richard Seidman just issued a match
No
challenge.
way.
That means every dollar donated today is doubled. So your impact is huge.
That's so awesome, Franny. We're going through 1,000 fish of pounds per day. Every little bit helps. If you have any means to visit marinemammalcenter.org, that would be great. you feed seals like Franny and go twice as far. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.